Hey guys, I'm Geek. In this video, I want to share what's on my Steam Deck 64GB version with a 512GB micro SD card. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I always specify on my video and on my thumbnails that this is the 64GB version, right? The reason I do that is to let a lot of people know that, you know, are trying to save money. That yes, even though yes, this is the cheapest version with the slower storage speed, it is still worth getting. Okay, for example, the options out there for those that are still new to the Steam Deck is the 64GB version, which is this one for $399, right? And then the storage that it uses is eMMC, it's not NVMe SSD, which is faster. Then you got the 256GB, which is NVMe SSD, which is way faster, for $529. And then you got the $649 version. It uses a 512 NVMe SSD, which is, you know, good, way more storage. And both of these are faster than the 64GB version, right? This one, the most expensive one, also has anti-glare screen. But this one doesn't. This one has the normal glossy screen. And that's why I always try to share with you guys what version I'm using, because there's a lot of people that, you know, can't spend $500-$600 on a handheld device. I always try to share with you guys my experience that I have using the cheapest device. Right now, like see here, when you buy the 64GB, keep in mind you have to buy a microSD card, whether it's of 256. I recommend no lower than 512, which is what I got. But if you can afford the 1TB, go ahead and get it. I might upgrade that later on in the future. But right now, I recommend starting with a 512GB, which is not that expensive. Honestly, I'll leave links in my description for that. And like you see here, because when you have the 64GB, out of the box, you're just going to get 46GB of storage that you can use, right? And from that storage, Proton and all these Proton Experimental, they're going to occupy a lot of that space as well. Like see here, this is all Proton updates that you're going to need to run some games because they're not going to be compatible, right? Here on the internal storage, I only have one game. It's Multiverses, which is 6.14GB. That's it. In the external, right now I have the 512. It actually turns out to be 468.2GB, you know, because of the things that it has to, I guess, to when you format it. Free right now, I have 17.6GB, and it says right here that I have 11 games. Now, these games are actually AAA games. A lot of people keep saying, oh, you're not going to fit more than 4 AAA games on a 512. Well, you're wrong. These are AAA games, and I have 11 here, and that's without counting the ones that are in Heroic Epic Launcher, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So right now I got here Tekken, right? I got Marvel, God of War, and I can see, you see the sizes, 65.68, 65.83. God of War, Dishonored 2 that I just got, loving it so far. Dirt 5, Ni no Kuni, Rise, Son of Rome, 26GB. Yakuza 0, 25GB. Batman Arkham Origins, 18.95GB. Loop Master, which is like a indie game, 13.36GB. Pac-Man Championship Edition, which is awesome. And that's it, 11 games. That is not bad. Now this game, if I'm going to go ahead and move it to the internal card, because it's it's small, and I still have a lot of space. This can fit over there on the internal card. So let's go ahead and do that. So to move content, all you got to do is highlight it, right? And I go ahead here, move. And right now I'm going to go ahead and move it to the internal card, right? To the internal card. And choose move. So now it's going to go ahead and move that game into the internal card. which is gonna, you know, free up some of my space on my external card. I recommend also not to fully fill your external card, because it could cause the system to crash once in a while or more consistently. So right now, like, see that it's moving, that it's taking a while, even though it's just 2 gigabytes. So if you're going to be moving a big file, be patient. Be patient, because look at that, it's actually taking a while for 2 gigabytes. That's just a 2 gigabyte game. There you go. Move successfully. There you go. Move successfully. So now I got 10 games here. Last game right there is Loopmancer. 10 games there. Oops. And now on my internal card, I have Multiverses and Pac-Man, which are 2 small games. And I still have free 10 gigabytes. And over here I got 19 gigabytes free. So like, see that I got 10 games right here, 10 games that it recognizes, and 2 more, that's 12 games. Plus there's, like, see right here, it says other, that yellow bar right there says other, 41 gigabytes. Right there represent 41 gigabytes that is occupying. And that 41 gigabytes is actually this right here. Let's go and show you guys what it is. I go to my library, right? And these are the games that I have installed, like you saw right there: Batman, Dirt 5, Dishonored, God of War, Loopmancer, Rise, Pac-Man, Ni no Kuni, Multiverses, Spider-Man, Tekken 7, and Yakuza 0. And like you see here, Tekken 7 is not compatible, supposedly, but I already did videos on it and it's totally compatible. Same thing with Dishonored 2. It says unknown and it's totally compatible. Okay, same thing goes with Batman. It says not compatible. It is totally compatible. Totally compatible. Okay, now let's go ahead to non-Steam. These are the things that are on the yellow bar, occupying the yellow bar, which represent 43 gigabytes, right? So let's go to Heroic Launcher. Let's go and launch that, because this is where this is the only launcher I decided to go ahead and install on my Steam Deck, because I didn't want to install too many launchers. And besides Steam, Epic is the second launcher that I use the most. So I already did a video on how to do this. So here I can see my library, my whole library for Epic. Look at that, all the games that I can install that I own on the Epic launcher. These are not installed. Keep in mind, these are not installed. The only 2 games that are actually installed is Prey, which is right here, which is highlighted, and Rumbleverse. Let me see if I can actually see the size of them. I don't think I can see the size. Can I see the size? Let me see. No, I don't know if I can see the size of these games or not. But these 2 games actually represent the 43 gigabytes of storage that it's occupying extra. So that means I got 10 games plus 2, that's 12, 13, and 14 games. 14 games installed on a 512 gigabyte card with the system, which is 64 gigabyte version. So for those that are saying that you can't have more than 4 games or 5 games, AAA games, yes, I have a whole bunch of AAA games, and that's it. So there you go. So right now, if I want to quit this, let's go and quit that. Oh, look at that. It took me to the game that was running on the background, which is Dishonored 2. Yeah, I'm running right now Dishonored 2 right here. So yeah, that's why you can see this. Yep. So yeah, let me go ahead and stop that and get back here into the game, into the system. Those are what the games that I have on my Steam Deck 64 gigabyte version with a 512 gigabyte card. So yes, you can have plenty AAA games. Yes, I've had to uninstall games to actually install other games. Like for example, I had to uninstall Borderlands, which was like 100 something gigabytes. I had to uninstall Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War. that was over 100 gigabytes to actually install a couple other games. But that's the way it is with any console. Right now, if you buy the most expensive console, guess what? You're still going to run out of space, and you're still going to have to buy an external micro SD card. Like I said, if you watch my video games, I always try to show the games loading from scratch. That way you guys can have an idea how the games load up, because the games are actually loading from the micro SD card. That's why I always share with you guys the game from loading screen. That way you guys can judge by yourself how fast or how slow it's loading. Should you get it? Should you not get it? Should you go ahead and spend $600 just because you want the system or the game to load 5 seconds faster or 10 seconds faster? That's up to you. That's your money. But like I said, here I'm having a great experience ever since I got it. Yes, if the system has crashed once in a while, and I also made a video where it actually crashed really badly and I couldn't load up the system. Yes, it did get ugly. It haven't got that ugly again since then. So because there's been more updates. There's been a whole bunch of more updates after I made that video. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
None of that.
I'm busy. What's up?
Have you started looking for Martin Lee yet?
No.
There you go,
I
guys.
told you I can't start a manhunt based on a hunch from Spider-Man.
I'm telling you, he's the guy.
Get me some solid evidence and we'll talk.
Solid evidence.
Yeah, guys. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the system 64 gigabyte version of the Steam Deck, and let me know in the comments which one did you decide to actually get yourself into. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye bye.